How's it going, Finitroids and Furbots? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're doing well. I got my hands on the new Carolina Herrera, which is what we're going to be taking a look at here today. Birds of Paradise, or technically, I guess the full name is CH Men, Birds of Paradise. So Herrera does one of these each year, a limited edition release in the CH Men line. Some of them are pretty forgettable, but then others can be fantastic. And today, we're gonna be determining which one this is. Is good or is bad? I'll have this linked in the description below. Feel free to check it out down there. This one retails for $120 if you buy it from a store like Dillard's, or you can save yourself some money by using discounters? No, by buying directly from Carolina Herrera. If you do that, it's $117. That's right, cut out the middleman, save $3. Genius. Let's kick things off as we always do by taking a closer look at the presentation, and then we'll get into the scent itself. Here we got the box you have on the front, name of the house, name of the fragrance size and concentration, as it says right there, limited edition. It's a 100 ml eau de parfum concentration. You've got the Herrera logo up top, little info on the back, and on the bottom, your badge code and barcode. My badge code is 33471. And here we have the bottle. You got a couple little bird cutouts there glued onto the front. What are those? Little like blue toucans. You have a Carolina Herrera logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the bottle, and it wraps all the way around. Thankfully, mine is not missing any studs. Some of these limited edition bottles that I've bought in the past, actually two of them, two separate ones, have been missing studs. Not a big deal, obviously, but it is kind of funny that that seems to be prevalent, or at least was in the past. Your info is going to be etched into the glass on the bottom of the bottle. You have a Herrera logo up top, and it clicks into place. Super snugly? It's okay. Let's go ahead and share a couple sprays, see how the atomizer works. Really nice, like usual. So no breakdown wise, according to Herrera's own website. This one has fresh top notes of Egyptian blue chamomile and violet leaf, which leads to a woody aromatic heart of driftwood and fir balsam. Then you have tonka, cashmere wood, and sandalwood in the base. Now before we go any further into the scent, here are some codes you can use to save money across a number of different websites. And also, I do have a mailing list that I'm starting up, which is linked in the description below also. With the mailing list, it costs you nothing. You just drop your email address in there, and if I come across any really good sales or anything like that, I'll let you guys know, but I'm not gonna be spamming you. And I'll also do the occasional written review that I'll put in the newsletters as well. Okay, let's talk Birds of Paradise. Is this a limited edition that you should check out? I mean, 117 bucks full retail for an eau de parfum new release, honestly, nowadays is really cheap. Again, we're talking full retail. A lot of fragrances nowadays are starting in that 145, 150 range, and then we have a number of releases that are much more expensive than that. So barely cresting $115 for a new fragrance, 100 ml size, again, eau de parfum concentration. All things considered, pretty affordable. Yes, we've gotten to the point where a fragrance launching at around $115 merits a conversation about how they did a good job making it not too expensive. So thanks Herrera for that. So this one I've been wearing a little bit, and I'll tell you guys, as soon as I sprayed it on, I was like, that smells pretty familiar. And I think for a lot of you out there, you're gonna get a similar vibe when you spray this one on. So it's pretty sweet. Kind of a green sweetness to it, fresh as well. And it reminds me a little bit of the original CH Men, almost as if you took the original CH Men and mixed it with a little bit of Aqua Fahrenheit. But if you kept everything on the fresh, sweet side of things. So it's definitely going to come across fresher than the original CH Men, and it comes across sweeter than Aqua Fahrenheit. And it could also remind you of some other fragrances out there that had similarities to Aqua Fahrenheit, and that's gonna be, I believe, the way that the violet is used here. It's not gonna come across smelling really petrol-y, nothing like that. You're not gonna get that gasoline kind of scent from the violet that's in here. Like I said, a sweeter, green, fresh take on that violet. That's what you get. But Aqua Fahrenheit kind of was that, at least compared to the original Fahrenheit. So it's like you took it a step further and also made it a little more modern as well. So when you first spray it on, that's how it's gonna hit you. It definitely is a flanker of CH Men. You can draw the comparison between the two. I say that because sometimes you'll have CH Men limited edition flankers that really actually don't harken back to the original CH Men much at all, but this one does. Now the chamomile that's in here, Egyptian blue chamomile, doesn't really give it an herbal facet, not really an aromatic facet either. It is, like I said a couple times now, green, yeah, for sure. It's not the type of green like if you had you know, an herb or something and you muddled it up in your hand. You know, that leafiness that you can get, that actual pop of aromatics, it doesn't come across that way. As it dries down, you've got multiple woody notes in here. You have driftwood, you have fir balsam, you've got cashmere wood, sandalwood. So you've got all these woody notes. You would think that it's gonna come across in a very woodsy manner, but it is more of that type of, you know, fresh, modern woodiness. Touch of creaminess in the way that the sweetness comes across, which you could attribute to the sandalwood note that's in there. But this isn't gonna be one of those woody notes that really comes across like you know, Diorum 2020, where there's like a strong, pronounced woodiness. It's more modern, fuzzy, fresh woods with a little bit of warmth from the tonka that's in there, some sweetness. So you got sweetness from the opening into the dry down, but still, again, fresh the whole way through. And I'll say, you know, first time I sprayed it on, I thought it was really, really pleasant, and I still do think it's really, really pleasant. The only thing that I could say is it probably will remind you, if you've smelled a lot of fragrances, you know, in this style or this style, it could remind you of a number of different things that are similar to those. Not that these are really super similar to each other, but you know, there's bits and pieces, facets from these that you'll find in here. But truly, you know, I don't think it makes sense to beat up a fragrance and say, yeah, you know, I think it smells good, I think it smells nice, but it does remind me a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and therefore, I'm gonna say that it's no good. No, it smells good, I like it, super pleasant. Is it the best CH Men limited edition flanker I've ever smelled? Nah, last year's I liked a little bit more. Talking about passion, that one was an iris forward fragrance. That does have a little bit of some fragrances in the past that I enjoyed a lot. You know, taken, mixed up a little bit, made modern, and given a nice sweet touch. Very easy to wear, very versatile. I'd say good for nighttime or evening, either one. I know it's one that most people probably would say leans daytime use, but because of that sweetness that kind of carries through the whole thing, I think you could pull that off, you know, summertime in the evenings really easily. Now, I've not had this for too terribly long, so all these are first impressions, glorified. Now, I've not had this for all that long, so these are really just first impressions. In terms of performance, it's been pretty good for me. I'd say, you know, slightly above average as far as summertime fragrances go. And again, that's gonna be because it's got a little more heft in the base. It's not like a freshy, if you know what I mean. Because of that tonka, because of the violet that's in here, I think that gives it a little more push than something that's gonna be like an aquatic, you know, citrusy freshy. It's not beastly as far as performance goes, but it gets the job done during spring and summer. It's about what you would expect, I would say. So, is it worth that price point, 117/120 for a 100 ml? Now, if you're comparing apples to apples with other things at full retail, absolutely, I think so. That's a pretty good deal, all things considered. And I think, again, really pleasant, easy to wear, and all things considered, decently different from other things that are coming out right now. I mean, yeah, you can compare it to some other stuff that came out in the past, but it doesn't smell like stuff that's hitting right now for the most part. So that gives it a little unique touch versus the other things that are out there in stores right now. That being said, as usual, if you could find this at discounters for a lower price a little bit in the future, I mean, that would be even better. But again, I do want to shout out Herrera for releasing this at a price point that I think is more reasonable. It's an eau de parfum, you know, 115, 117, 120. That's pretty sweet. So there we go, Herrera CH Men Birds of Paradise. This is, for me, one of the better CH Men flankers, limited edition flankers, over the past, I'll call it 5 years or so, 5-6 years. And hopefully we keep getting Herrera CH Men flankers that are very good, because there was a time not too terribly long ago where each CH Men flanker was actually one that you would really look forward to. And then it kind of lost its way a little bit. There were some that came out, you know, like Kings, for example, Beast that I mentioned, that by and large people were just kind of not really big fans of. And so a lot of that anticipation fell away. People were like, this stuff kind of sucks, you know. But with last year's release, and now this one being pretty good too, and Hot was not too bad, hopefully things pick up. So there we go, Birds of Paradise. Thank you guys. If you have smelled that one, let me know what you think about it. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow. See you later. Stay safe.